that the way he looked at Batman, he was taking all of his disillusionment and putting it all on you, on Soups.
It's easy to do.
Does it work? Is it really?
Well, Soups is the big guy in the sky.
I know, but he's not a depressive.
No, he's not a depressive.
No.
But because he's this mythological figure who's actually become a reality, everyone can blame him for everything. It's anyone who has their problems can ignore that they have their problems and say it's actually down to that guy, and he becomes a serious target during the movie.
See, we're not going too deep because we don't want to give away.
That's the thing.
Anything.
I'm
You're
tiptoeing.
trained to do that, aren't you?
Yes.
There's some kind of massive punishment that comes your way.
Death.
If you do, is it death?
Yeah.
Zack Snyder and Warner Brothers arranged
Warner Brothers
for death.
snipers are in this room.
They're ready to take you down at any time. Well, okay, I know I can safely say that when Man of Steel ended, Metropolis was destroyed. You and General Zod having this gigantic battle destroy. I mean, I haven't seen that much destruction since the last Trump rally.
Right.
You know, really. It was just a mess that was there.
Yeah.
But how do we deal when this one opens with that destruction, Metropolis?
We deal with it very much in the way that audiences have dealt with it. There's part of the world which says, okay, yeah, things got destroyed, but a whole planet was saved. If that guy wasn't there at all, then it wouldn't just be an area of Metropolis that got damaged. We would all be dead. Genocide would have happened, and there'd be one very angry Kryptonian flying around. But the other half say, yeah, but you should not have caused that much damage. Just like the audiences on the internet and sort of across the world are saying about the movie. And we're applying that directly to Batman v Superman. The world is split. Some think it was too much, and others think it was reasonable.
But there's more people in this one than there is before. We have other characters that come in.
Yes,
and
indeed.
Jesse Eisenberg is Lex Luthor. What was that like?
Jesse makes a fantastic Lex Luthor. He really does. He adds... There's something which Jesse brings to his character which hasn't been seen in any Lex Luthors before. And I think the audience is really going to love it.
What about Wonder Woman?
Wonder Woman, Gal does an amazing job. And again, this is something I'm going to have to tiptoe around because I don't want to give away too much.
But she's in it. We can go that far.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And she cuts a fine figure as Wonder Woman. She really does. She brings a gravitas which exists in the character in the comic books, and she brings it across in live action. She's very good.
And are you signed on to play Soups for how many times?
I am signed on with... This Justice League 1 is the end of my 3-movie contract. And so then we do another one, ideally. Right?
Right? Look at that.
And then
But then you ask for so much more money.
Well, I mean,
oh, come on.
Have you asked for more money? Yes.
Percentages. Yeah. No, you've got to do that.
Of course.
Yeah,
everything
this
scales
is the way
up
it
eventually.
works.
Yeah.
But what about you? You always look how great you look. You have to constantly be in shape to play this character. If they just keep lining them up, do you go into a cave between these and say, "I'm just going to eat donuts"?
Kinda, yeah. Donuts and pizza.
Was that the two things?
Yeah, I mean, it's when you train really hard for a movie and you're on a movie for, say, 12 months, you do want to relax afterwards. The trick is not relaxing too much because you know you're going to have to come back to the character. And yeah, you don't want to go crazy. It's when you put yourself under that kind of strain for 12 months, it's exhausting and you need time to just wind down from it.
But you know, the last time you were here, you talked about your youth. I've never seen photographic evidence of Fat Cavill, as you were called by bullies at your school.
Yeah.
But he's never returned, has he?
Fat Cavill?
Yeah.
I mean, I think he has.
Really?
Yeah, I think.
Do you hide out when that happens?
Yeah, pretty much. Really? I have my off-season periods where I relax and enjoy myself, and that's when Fat Cavill's back. Fat Cavill's back every year. He's a regular fixture.
Nobody really calls you that.
No, I mean, no, not anymore, because now I'm bigger.
But did that hurt you?
Did it
that
hurt
was,
me?
what were you, 12, 13 when that happened?
Yeah, 13 years old. I was in boarding school 13, 14, 15, 16. And yeah, of course it hurts. But I'm not sort of holding any grudges against these guys or those kids, because they're kids. They're just flexing their social muscles and working out where they belong in the hierarchy. And
well, that sounds like years of therapy you would have had to have come to that.
No, it's just realizing that kids are kids. Come on.
Okay.
It's, for example, right now, if a kid came up to me and insulted me in some way which is hurtful, would I hold it against that child? No. And so why, as an adult, would I hold it against the children who were mean to me when I was a kid? To me, this makes perfect sense.
Now, what about you when you're not playing Soups? Well, you did Man from U.N.C.L.E. last year.
Did Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Are you looking for things to play in between playing these that are completely different?
I wouldn't necessarily say completely different. I'm aware that it's probably beneficial to do stuff which is different, but it's just good stories which I'm looking for, really. If I'm going to do stuff in between, if there's time, then just good stories. I did a movie called Sandcastle, where I'm playing a special forces captain in the first Iraq War, and he's a good old boy from the South, big beard, you know, makes fun of people most of the time. So he's pretty different from Soups, but there's still that hero quality to the guy, and I enjoy that. I do want some variety in my performances, just so I get to have fun with it as well, and an audience, you know, wants to see more of me.
Do you watch the other people who played Superman before you? Have you looked at those movies, the Chris Reeve ones, the Brandon? Because you were once going to play him, right?
I was. I was going to play the Soups in an earlier rendition of The Story. That was with a different director, and that movie fell apart. I was screen testing at the time. That movie fell apart, and then Bryan Singer came on and made his version and executed his vision, and I wasn't a part of that. I did watch his other movies, but not for research purposes. I just watched them when they came out, like the Chris Reeve movies and Brandon Routh movies, and enjoyed them enormously. But if you watch other people's performances when they're playing a character who you're about to play, for me personally, I find that can influence your decisions. And I wanted this to be my vision coupled with Zack Snyder's vision and as true to the source material as possible. And I consider the comic books the source material.
Well, that's it. The interesting thing is that George Reeves, who played Superman on television in America, was played by Ben Affleck in a movie called Hollywoodland to do that. Did the two of you discuss that?
We did not.
What's wrong with you?
I haven't
How
seen the
could you
movie.
not say?
I haven't seen the movie. I mean, it's been brought up a couple of times, but...
Doesn't Ben demand that you see most of his films before he'll work
I mean,
with
he's a
you?
very demanding man.
I know it. He's going to say,
Extremely demanding man.
please.
But no, he doesn't.
Because he cut quite the figure.
He works really hard. He works really hard, and
Because he's older than you are. And
he's-
I'm assuming that Batman is older than Superman in this movie, that it's a part of the theme of this. He's darker. than
absolutely, yeah. It's a very world-weary Batman. It's a bitter Batman, and the very fact that he wants to take down this guy in the sky who could be good, but what if he's maybe bad one day, requires some damage in there, and he plays this Batman really well. And as you're saying, he cuts a fine figure doing it. He worked really hard and got in great shape.
But I'm interested in that time where you and Ben are in costume. You're not being Clark Kent and Bruce Wayne. You're being Batman and Superman, and you just look at each other that way. Did you go to wardrobe together?
No, we didn't. I never saw Ben in costume until we were on set.
It's like a wedding.
A lot like a wedding, and he made a beautiful bride.
I bet he did. Wow. But did you have something to say to each other when you saw each other in costume for that first time?
I don't think there was anything dramatic about it. It was just like, nice suit, dude. It's like, can you pee in that? It's like, yeah. Do you need to pee? No, not now. I just went.
I hope the suits are made so that peeing is easy.
This time round, mine was. Yeah, the first movie, it wasn't. And
See, it comes with power.
yeah,
See, there's a lesson to be learned here.
there is. If you're powerful, you must be able to pee.
When you look at you in this movie, is there a moment in this, because it's full of moments, there's action, there's all of this, but you looking at you as a critic of yourself and saying, this thing I did in that scene really pleases me, I'm satisfied with it.
Okay.
Is there a moment like that that doesn't give away anything and we don't get...
There is. I can't tell you about it though.
How about the moment in Man of Steel where there is absolutely no way to do a spoiler?
It's when I'm talking to Jor-El, the first time I enter the scout ship, and Jor-El calls me Cal, and I say,
Cal?
And that moment when I watched it, I was like, oh, okay, cool, yeah, that's exactly what I was planning on doing and how it came across. And sure enough, it came across that way.
So you looking back at what you did do as an actor before,
Yeah.
what do you think it's necessary for people who are interested in you because of you playing Soups? What? And they want to see something else that you did. What would you tell them to watch? What's the 2 or 3 things you would say that reveal who you are as an actor?
I think Sandcastle, which is about to come out, but I've already done that. That's an interesting piece. The Tudors, that was fun. And it shows a range because the character starts in such a way and then changes so dramatically over the course of 4 seasons because of everything that he has to endure and the price of being the best friend of a king, essentially. Otherwise, I'm trying to think of other jobs.
What was that
Man
very
from
first
Uncle.
thing you did?
That was the Count of Monte Cristo.
It was way after the days of Fat Cavill.
That was just after the days of Fat Cavill. I mean, I got that job and I was told to lose weight by the producers. Well, my mother was told to tell me to lose weight by the producers.
It would be wrong if they
And-
approached you directly. Yeah.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I remember being particularly peeved about that. I was like, why couldn't they say it to my face? But I lost weight, obviously. That performance was it's an interesting one because I was 17. It was my first ever movie performance. And, I mean, I'd have to watch it again to see if it was any good. Probably wasn't.
Now, Henry, you've been here before. The show always ends in song. Something that's in your head, just a little stream of melody. I don't know what music you listen to.
You're going to sing it, right?
I'll sing it with you if I know it.
No, I think you should sing it.
Well, I don't know what
If
your
I
song
name
is.
the song, I think
Oh,
you should
no,
sing
I
it.
can't. That's how not, well, I'm happy to go along with what you do.
That doesn't
I
seem
want to
fair.
know what's in Henry's head.
In my head, I can't think
Oh,
of a
come
song.
on.
No, I can't. My mind has gone blank.
That's just impossible. I'm sure
not
that
impossible.
you sing
It happens
in
all
the
the
shower.
time.
You sing in the shower.
Never. I
really?
am strongly against it.
Could you reveal what it is that you like without singing it?
I'd tell you what I heard recently. It's not a song.
Okay.
It's the Hans Zimmer soundtrack to Man of Steel. I heard it again when I was watching some stuff. That's really good.
Yeah.
Can you hum that?
I can't.
Oh.
But you can.
I
know
can't.
that you can do some kind of.
No, I can't. I would never ever try and
I'm
imitate
not
Hans
believing
Zimmer.
you. When
No,
you
no.
leave, are
He's-
you
he's
gonna
a
go-
master. He's an absolute master.
Yeah.
I could never try and imitate
You
that.
couldn't try to do it. No, it's just over.
No.
Well, that breaks my heart.
I'm sorry.
Just a little bit, you know. Will you get on the phone later and start singing something to me
I might do.
so that I can hear it?
Yeah.
Well, that's great then. I'll take that.
Thank you very much.